What's up, everybody? It's Average Actually here, and the Supervive global launch trailer just dropped last week, and oh baby, am I excited. They gave us some tasty details that we can sink our teeth into today, but there are 5 hidden details that you may have missed in this trailer, so we're going to go ahead and run the trailer right here, and let's dive into this thing and see what they've got for us.
Hey everyone, Joe here on behalf of the entire team at Theorycraft Games, and today, I'm excited to announce that next week, on July 24th, we'll be launching the 1.0 release of Supervive on Steam.
Hidden detail number 1. Trios are here to stay. No more duos, no more squads. That's my prediction, and here's why. So as you can see over here on the right side of our screen, what we've got is 3 hunters in one team. And this is the new UI because we didn't have a setup like this before. So this is definitely the new client that they've got out there, and they've got 3 hunters in it, which guarantees at least trios is here. But I didn't find anywhere else in this video. You tell me if you saw a different spot where there was either 2 or 4 people fighting. I only saw teams of 3. And the other thing that kind of gives it away for me is here at the end. This end screen right here with this artwork shows 3 hunters facing off against the rest of the lobby. This is pretty clear to me that we've got some trios action going on. At the very least, it will be involved in the game, but I think it's going to be the only option, which I think is the perfect amount. You don't have too much extended fighting. You have just enough explosive combos, which is super fun in a battle royale. Trios is beautiful. I love this. Hidden detail number 2. I'm going to take you right back to that same fight. And let's look at the bottom of this screen down here. So very specifically, we're going to look right here. Now this power used to be a green one that was included in some of the beginnings of some of the fights. It lets you turn into a tree for a little bit of time with a cooldown. However, now it's in your consumables area. You see your Vive brews here. You see a new item in the consumables area, which I think is going to be armor. And then you have the other 4 slots right here. This may change before the game comes out, but we're looking right here at these items. And another thing that confirms this for me, the armory screen comes up with these 3 options for you to pick from. And let's look at something very specific about these items. We're going to start with this middle one, the Rummel's Hover Winger. It's a legendary relic. And this picture, this artwork, looks a little similar to something we've seen before. The Rummel's Hover Winger is comparable to the Hover Wings, the purple item that you could get as a power, and they both have the same activatable effect. The hover for 3 seconds gaining movement speed was something that the Hover Wings could do, and now these can do the same thing. So that makes me guess that that power is gone, as well as the Base Camp Boxer right here. This same description was on the Purple Fixer perk or power before. That was a wrench icon. Picking up your base camps is fast and free. That was something that you could do when you had the Fixer's passive power on. And lastly, our Refractor over here. Hitting primary attacks spawn a projectile that damages and bounces to nearby enemies. This was another passive purple power that I think was the red and white like slash. I don't exactly remember what it was called, but that was another power. So all 3 of these items that you could choose from were previously powers. I'll say it again. So I really think that overall as a whole system, powers themselves are out of here, and they're now going to be housed in the consumables and armory system, which I think that's another fantastic change. I think that lessens the decisions that you have to make as a new player. And I also think it allows for some fun new combos that you couldn't have before because you were limited to 2 powers. But now you can have a couple in your consumables area. You could have a couple in your armory. I'm not going to go over the whole armory system today. I would encourage you to go watch not only this global launch trailer, but go check out Lemur's video on his thoughts around the new 1.0 release. He was able to play it early, and it gives some really good information. I'll leave both Lemur's and the trailer's video links in the description down below, so you can check those out for yourself. Go give them some love, but they go into more details on the armory that I won't be going into today because that's not really a hidden system. Hidden detail number 3, the UI and the client update. I have talked about this. This isn't super hidden, but they did drop a few sneak peeks at it, so I wanted to point these out. So this is your new Hunters and Mastery area. As you can see, your Hero Select is over on the left, and they've now designated it by some different options right here, which I think are going to be your Duelists from before, going into maybe Controllers or Support. I'm not entirely sure. That looks like a plus in the middle, so I'm guessing that could be Support. And now you're going to go into your Initiators and your Tanks and also your Control characters. So that's my guess. They may call them something different. Like I could totally see this being your Marksman here, and these are like Brawlers, and this is Mages. They may break that up a little differently, but that's going to give you a little bit of a different look, as well as on the bottom down here, this area with the white border and your different rank, your character, right here, your character, and then also your Prisma, which is a new thing they've added. I think all of these items and changes, are going to be really great. And then your new Friends request area over there, this whole area, it just looks like really nice and sleek. Here's another look at the UI and client change. This is the armory. So again, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but this is just a brief look. You've got your daily specials, your weekly specials, but there is a nice little hint that they've dropped here for you. It wasn't fully explained in the trailer video, but Lemur pointed it out in his. You can see 3-star and 1-star over here, as well as a full bar and a not quite full bar. So this is the different levels of the gear and relics and perks and everything that you can get. They're going to be an upgraded version of some of them, which I would guess based on most loot box systems that you're going to have to get more copies of this thing to upgrade it to the next. Like you could turn in 3 copies to make it level 2 or whatever they're going to say. So I think that'll be pretty nice. And they did mention in the video though, so you don't have to worry, it's not going to be pay to play. Everything that you can get in the Forge is going to be bought with Prisma. The only way you can get Prisma, at least for right now, is going to be playing games. And they have some interesting systems around Prisma that have been hinted at that I have no idea about. So I'm really curious to see what that's going to be about, but that's a nice change. I get that some people might be a little concerned about that, but I think it's good to have a system that rewards players for playing the game. And if people come into the game with some of these high-level perks, say they get something from the weekly special and you didn't have the opportunity to get it, you can still kill them in game and you can get their gear. So you don't have to worry about that too much. You can loot their box and hopefully get some of this stuff, so you can have some fun with that. So, and if you're not playing a lot, if you're playing a certain character and you want specific gear to work around how your character wants to play, they did mention some of that in the launch trailer. You could just go for specific items. You don't have to worry about collecting everything. So you have options. You don't have to go for 100% completion. So nothing to worry about. Like, I might not need some Brawl items because I may never play Brawl in my life, but if I'm curious on trying some other hunters like Felix and then my boy Kingpin, I may need a little bit more items than somebody who just wants to one-trick pony somebody. So I think there's no problem with that. I get where people might be concerned. The final thing that you can see here is just the nice sleek look, and I think this is going to be really helpful for players coming back to the game. They don't have to experience or maybe relive their experience that was negative before, because everything looks new. So they're not going to be getting any of those flashbacks or, oh shoot, I remember this. Like, oh yep, here we go again, Supervive. Like, it's a whole new thing, which is just easy on the eyes and just brings people in a little bit better. I think it's just a good change. Now, here's number 4. And this may not be talked about very much. It's just really speculative on my part, but the Secret Order Ghost skin that you get, it says Phantasm here. This is looking clean. I guess Phantasm is the green version. So you can see it'll go through a Inferno version as well. And they have a nice fancy Luge edition, a shiny edition. This skin looks sick. This skin is amazing. However, Jin has a Secret Order skin, and I am pretty sure this is the first skin name repeat that we've seen. So maybe we're getting into some kind of skin line launch. Maybe we're going to have some kind of lore around the Secret Order, that some of these characters have joined up with this force who's going to go into the arena. I'm really curious to see where they go with that, and maybe they can expand on some of these other skin lines, just as League does for your Battle Academy or your Star Guardian, some of these universes that they've created in-game just to encourage people to dive into the lore. I think Supervive has so much area that they could capitalize with this, and it just opens up a whole new world for the options that they have in this game. I would love to see some more Dark Order skins too. That Shrike Dark Order skin is mint, and I think some more Dark Order stuff could be sick. So I hope they dive into that a little bit more. The lore of this game before was just not very expounded on, so just giving us some more information about why we're here, why did these hunters come to this place, why are we fighting, like what's the goal here. I think some of that would be pretty fun to put in the game itself rather than just being talked about on podcasts or other areas. Like give it to people here in the client to be more accessible. That's just more fun, just a little more to nibble on for people who love this game and want to dive into the lore. So just a cool little extra detail. And the final detail though is definitely hidden now. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So a few frames before, you get this Rudy tune, and you see right here a blurred out wisp. Now I'm going to drop a little something for you if you didn't catch this when it went live, but this wisp right here was a rat with a crown on its head. The Rat King Cadril himself has a wisp, which I think can mean one of two different things. Either there's going to be another streamer tournament and there's some wisps and other items to encourage those streamers to come on and just say, hey, here's my wisp. My fan base can go support me this way just by checking out this game. And I think it was received pretty well. It got some hype for the game, and that's actually how I heard about it originally. And the other thing that could happen is maybe they're going to introduce, just like Fortnite has icon skins and creator codes, maybe they could give creators like Lemur or Zodag or some of those other high-level Supervive creators some kind of in-game code and cosmetics that their audience can go support the game a little bit more, as well as support the creator. I think those are great monetization options, and this before was definitely not blurred out, so I don't think that they meant to drop that, and I'm hoping that there's some surprises coming up. I did notice in Cadrill's news that Wednesday and Thursday are both blocked out for variety streams. He doesn't play a lot of variety, and this is on the docket for a game that could have another streamer tournament, so I'm super excited to see what comes this next week. We've just got a couple days until that happens, so fingers crossed that we get some more hype around this thing from the streamer side. Well, that's going to do it for us here today. Those are my 5 hidden details that you may have missed. Let me know in the comments if I missed any, or if you noticed some of these things too when you were watching that launch. If you haven't seen the launch trailer, go down in the description below, check that out, and also you can check out Lemur's video there if you want a little bit more in-depth information about the armory and things like that. It would be super interesting for you if you want to know more, but if you just want to go in with a surprise, hey, we'll be going live on Wednesday when this thing drops. Official launch is Thursday, and Friday, Saturday are going to be long grind days for us. I'm super excited to dive into this thing, and I hope you are too. Let's go see everything that these devs have been cooking up. I'm so pumped. I know the video that I released last week was a bit of a downer. I just wanted to kind of get my feelings out there, but I'm super excited for the direction that they're going. I think they calmed a lot of my concerns about where it's going to go, and I think they even have some more things hidden that they're going to surprise us with. So let's all go check it out, give them all the support, and I can't wait to see you over at the Abyss.